we go. PT Breakfast Club live on this Tuesday. What do you think of the new graphics? We're YouTubers, Tony. Look at the swirls. It's too much even for me, and I'm overstimulated. I like this one, just the static graphic. We'll just keep that.
I like them all. Whatever you want, man. It's your show.
All right. You're cruising into work like a real clinic owner does, and we're talking about, what do you want to talk about? Do we go right to the Super Bowl conversation? First, no. Let's do this. First of all, can you see what I'm wearing today on my shirt?
I see a name tag.
That is I believe it says James McKay, SPT, Marymount University.
Wow.
I was digging through my junk drawer looking for a screwdriver this morning, and I found my PT school name tag. This is the rite of passage. I actually suggested for a PT school fundraiser, you bring the alumni back, right? But like, what you should do is you should pin your magnetic name tag on the wall. That's what you should do. And that's where you should leave it. And, for $100, you get to leave your name tag on the wall, but it goes toward whatever. I don't know. They probably want $500, but the reason I put it on is we're probably not going to, you're doing Thanksgiving on Thursday, right? We're not going to do a live stream on Thursday. Yeah. So I ordered on Amazon. It did not come in. I wanted to make you and Dave giggle. I ordered a turkey hat. It was essentially a cooked turkey hat. And it was supposed to be here yesterday, and it never showed up. But I was going to, we were going to kick off with what we're thankful for. So I'll read what Dave sent a super nice message. I'll read it. I wanted him to do like a selfie video like he does when he's running. But he said, grateful for both of you guys. Have such a blast doing this show. I know it's valuable for the audience. I even watch or listen to some of our replays after they're published. Do you ever listen to what we say after we do it?
On a very rare occasion.
I do too, on a rare occasion, because someone will say, that was cool that you guys were talking about that, and I'm like, no recollection.
Yeah,
no recollection. I used to tell people in radio, I would do the weather once an hour every hour for 5 hours, and then I'd go home and be like, I wonder what the weather's going to be like tomorrow, because it's stream of consciousness. Right. So it is unique. You're a little frozen, so I don't know if you're.
I picked up the network, but I just dumped it. Gotcha. So I'm back on cellular.
Perfect. All right. So I'm thankful for you guys. I love that message from Dave. He's got to do clinic owner things as well. But he's here in spirit. He'll be back next week. Thankfulness is what we're talking about. So I don't know. Wanted to say thankful for you guys for always. Otherwise, it's just me talking to myself, or me talking to different guests all the time is awesome. But the consistency and not having to be the person that drives the bus the whole time is fantastic. I know I love to hear the sound of my own voice. I know it doesn't shock anybody, but I do like just being able to sit and be like, I hadn't thought about it like that. Jump in if I want to, but I don't have to. So I am appreciative about that. Not just podcast things. You're also good humans as well.
Yeah, same for me. It's one of those deals, like, I'm appreciative to the people that show up every Tuesday and Thursday morning. Give us their time, give us their attention. I honor that and respect that. Awesome. I'm appreciative to you and Dave. I can't believe we've been able to keep the podcast going. I'm sure there have been times both you guys were like, let's just quit it, let it go. I've been like that, but we go through it.
Yeah.
And the fact is, we are living in the best time to be a human being on the planet Earth ever in the history of the world. There's never been a better time. So it's like, there's so many things to be appreciative for. It does make me sad that I see so much frustration, so much anger, like so many people that they're working so hard to find things to be upset about.
Yeah, almost.
It's not that complicated.
Yeah, you sound like Gary Vee. Like, that's his whole thing. He's got this number or something that someone said, which is like the odds of you being born.
Oh yeah,
like just being born. And he's also like, dude, you're born in America right now. Like, pretty privileged. I don't care what you think. Everybody's like, it's a dumpster fire. It's like, I know, but you don't have cholera. I'm not saying everything's perfect. Please don't, think we're not. But like, we're talking to you from my living room in your car, and we're touching dozens of people in a live stream, hundreds, if not thousands, for the episodes that we, when we publish these later. It's a little wild. So like, I heard someone say before, he said it in private, so I won't say who it was, but he's like, I see a lot of physical therapists get handed like these tools, these phones. I got a new phone, by the way. And he's like, it's almost as if you handed someone TheraBand and they made a slingshot out of it. It's like, you could be getting strong with it, but you're using it wrong. And I see people on the phones bitching. And I'm like, I get it. I bitch too. I just bitched at a hockey company because my skate broke the other day during a game. But like, I get it. You could do a lot of, there's a lot of positive things you can do with these things as well. And so let's focus on those things. With that radio segue, I mean, the talk of the town since our last live stream, I think this whole thing dropped like on Friday, and we do our live stream Tuesdays and Thursdays. Apparently this was already known by the people that be for a while. It's just, it hit some website and then somebody did a video. I did a video because I was so tired of people just going around with misinformation. I just took the press release, threw it through AI and made a video, and I got it was my most viewed video ever. That's when you know it's a topic. Almost 20,000 views just on Instagram for this 38-second video of me explaining this big thing. So how do you break it down? What's happening, Tony? Explain it to me, even though I have the press release.
So just for context, back to, I remember, I scroll through TikTok for different reasons than I scroll through Instagram, different than I scroll through Facebook and other. I get a lot of really good information from Facebook. Facebook is still my platform of choice for reasonable information.
Yeah.
Anyway, scrolling through TikTok, flooded with, horrible messages from frustrated people. And I start seeing this trend of, oh, my profession's not a profession and I'm not a professional, and people complaining about all that kind of stuff. So like, what are they talking about? Long story short, I do the research. I look at it from my perspective. Yes, the government's out of money. Yes, we've been operating at a deficit for, a decade and more. Yes, prices are up on everything because of inflation, because of these things, right? So there are these financial influences. This is a big thing. It's not just any one profession. And it's look, the Department of Education, which is far from like this right-wing conservative, group, says, hey, we're going to reclassify things. These are the codes. These are the rules of these codes. Based on these codes, this is where we're going to put each of these professions. And so nursing, physical therapy, all these guys got thrown into this. We're going to limit lifetime borrowing amounts. You probably know even better than me, but I'm going to say 100,000 if you're not a professional, 200,000 if you are.
What's it?
It's federally backed loans are limited to that on a lifetime basis. And that's it. Like, it's not anti-women. It's not anti-poor. It's not anti all of these things. Like, all of us are going to come to this, and me included. My bias is stop giving away tax dollars to, every single cause that's out there, because we can't afford it. We can't afford it. So now we hear, oh, students are not going to be able to afford a DPT degree. Students couldn't afford it before.
It's true.
We're not saying we're going to reduce the cost of the education. We're going to say you can't borrow more than you can pay back. You can't borrow more than this amount from government sources, governments, from tax dollars. You can't borrow from tax dollars. I think it's fine. I think the problems we had before are going to persist. We already have a shortage of PTs. We already have, challenges staffing in healthcare anyway. What we need to control cost. Maybe this does something to do it. Maybe it doesn't. We need to grow the workforce. It's not going to happen in the current environment. What do you understand? You're the one that made the video. I didn't even put out a video. Yeah. So go ahead.
Yeah. It's limits on federal loans. Private loans are still through the roof. I'm not saying this is going to change things for people who can afford to go to school. Here's the thing that you helped me focus on this as much. Sometimes I'm like a box of cats, right? Can you control this? Well, you can write your legislator. Great. Do that. I'm not crapping on that. You should do that. But you shouldn't do that and then sit there like this with your arms crossed and say, well, I'm going to wait for something to happen now.
Okay, wait. The funniest one that I saw, there were a couple, you see themes through these posts. A couple of the posts were like, take action. We need to take action. We need to make a difference. We need to do things. I'm like, all right, yeah, let's see what they're going to do. Let's see what they're going to say. The action was write your congressperson.
Right.
That is not action.
Right.
That has no impact, is not in your control. Like, take action. Go ahead.
That's what I wanted to say, which is by all means do that. I think you should. One of my really good friends growing up is now a state assemblyman. And I go, and he's shown me, because I help him out and I volunteer in his office. He has a spreadsheet of every email, text message, that any message that comes in, who the person is, where they live, and what their complaint is. And he shows me if a person complains 10 times, their name is on my list 10 times. He's like, this takes hours to compile, but they do it because he's like, this is what we do. By all means, do that. But then, Tony, what is this changed on the other side of the coin? The designation of by the way, from what someone explained, and we should bring someone on like Rich Severin. Rich is he just does this, and he's a smart dude. And he's there's a lot of jargon and words that get thrown around, but he's like, well, actually, and it sounds like people like Rich or Dana, who's in the comments, I'll read your comment in a second. It sounds like they're trying to like nitpick, but like you kind of have to with like words at this level. Well, actually, to get it right. So what they're actually saying is, we were never actually designated as a professional degree anyway. That's what I'm understanding. This is just saying it was sort of, we weren't designated it, but they let it slide. Now they're saying we're actually going to stick to the actual rule that wasn't a thing. So they're not taking anything away. You can't, it's like in sales, I lost the deal. You never had the deal. You never had the deal. You can't lose a deal you didn't have, right? No one came in and took anything. It also doesn't change like, and listen, I get it. Like, and I think we had discussions online, or maybe it's internal or both, which is, this is an emotional thing. Someone just talked crap about your mother. Right. Do you know what I mean? Like, why does that hurt so bad? It's because it's your mom, right? Your mom is so what? No, that's why it burns. That's why kids do it on the playground. It burns. Yeah. But that's not what's happening. You're still a professional. We still love you. You still do great things.
Yeah. I mean, we got the your mama's so fat jokes. My mama was fat. Like, it's going to hurt my feelings, but that's the way it was. She was. This is a situation where, like you said, I hear some people say, well, they changed the designation. I hear other people say, no, they didn't change it. They're just, this is the code. Now, one person said something really impactful, which was, this was a poor choice of words. And that's real. That triggered the emotional response. It's correct. You know, these aren't professional. These are graduate degrees. Like, just use numbers. So nobody hears, I'm not a professional. You're still going to get paid the same. You're still going to have your titles. You're still going to have all of that stuff. This has nothing to do with those of you that are already working as DPTs. Yeah. But the media and all of that, you know, and then again, we go into, well, this is going to suppress or repress, I don't even know what the word is, certain populations, and it's going to make it hard. Physical therapy is a rich person's profession. Because if you can't afford, like, we're all rich to begin with, rich relative to the rest of the world, rich relative to other populations. Like, the reality is we have so many of these benefits already. I understand the frustration, but taking somebody in a low income socioeconomic group and saying, hey, you can borrow $400,000 from the taxpayer to pay for a degree that's going to pay you back $80,000 a year. And if you want to have kids in a family, you're only going to be in the career for 7 years. Right. You know, like, that makes no sense.
Yeah. Dana's in the comments. This is like sort of Dana's world. She comments a lot. I just sent her a message. I mean, she's in the comments. I'd rather just have her. So Dana, check your LinkedIn. I just slid into yo DMs if you want to jump on the show. David saying, your mom is so fat, her belt size is the equator. Dude, on the rock station I used to run, it was some people's favorite day of the year. Do you know the comedian Paula Poundstone?
Yeah.
She's like an old comedian, but she's awesome.
Yeah.
And she had this whole like 20 minutes on your mama jokes. And I would play them in between songs all day on Mother's Day. And mothers thought, I mean, everybody, because they're just so ridiculous. It was some of the best content we ever made. because it was so tongue in cheek. But like it is, it's like your mom is so fat, her belt size is the equator. We should do that on this show. It wouldn't make any sense. 70% of our profession are females. A lot of them are mothers. It would kill our audience, but I think they'd laugh at it. Dana's saying a lot, so I want to read some of the stuff she's saying. But Dana, check your LinkedIn DMs. I did slide in there if you want to just come on and say these things. She's saying what's happening is required for the Department of Ed to implement the One Beautiful Bill Act. So this started, the domino fell a long time ago. It's like now you're feeling the 15th domino because now it's about you. I get it. And you're right. The video that I made, I said the limit was $100,000 because I looked at 20,000 and said college and multiplied by 4, but PT school is usually 3 years, so it's really 75K. I wonder how that changes for hybrid programs that are 2 years. Someone like Dana would know. This is an attempt to address the school loan issue and was put through the reconciliation bill. This isn't just for healthcare professionals too. More to say that I can convey on messaging here. I can explain sometime. And she can explain now because Dana's here. Dana, can you hear us? Oh, and then she's out. Call us back. I know some people do go deep and they were saying, well, look at this. Look at all the things. They're all female dominated professions. But from what Dana's saying, it's not just for healthcare providers. Dana, can you hear me?
Yep. Sorry. I popped myself off by accident.
You're required. You have to say long-time listener, first-time caller. That's actually
long-time listener. I think second-time caller.
Yeah, she's
been on the show before. We've been on the show. All right. So what have we gotten right? What have we gotten wrong? So Dana, first, just for context, like explain what your superpowers are. You're a PT, but you do weird stuff in a cool way.
Yeah. I work in public policy, but not specifically for physical therapy. I work in public policy for a very large organization, and I cover healthcare delivery and value-based care issues for that organization. So like I'm on the government affairs team. So this is my bailiwick, although I did have to do a little research on the Department of Education. I'm used to dealing with the Department of Health and Human Services, as we all know.
Yes.
What they do. Okay, so here's what this is about. In HR 1, which is the One Big Beautiful Bill Act, or it's actually now named something like Saving Taxpayers or something or other. Anyway, what it did was it put this in place. It named as part one section of the bill, it designated here's a professional, here's a non-professional for the purposes of the school loan caps, the federal school loan caps that are subsidized by them. But although I really thought when I first read this, that this was mostly about that low rate that the government was offering for these loans, that may be part of it, but part of it is this is the sentiment right now around wanting to curb school loans that are taken out. I think the interesting part is, like, for many of us, I actually very much agree. I kind of follow that philosophy of the, financial planners that say you should never take school loans in excess of what you're going to make your first year. That assumes you're going to make significantly more after that as well. So it's not that what they did is illogical for our profession, but what's not a good idea, in my opinion, what we need to be careful about is who's making this determination, right? Like, do we really, and I think this is where the shtick is, do we really want the nomenclature to be defined this way, right? Professional versus non-professional.
Right.
And do we want the limits put on us to take these low interest rate loans, put on us through this that now has to go through rulemaking, by the way, through the Department of Ed. And like I put in the comments, the cap is not $100,000 for us. We have 25 a year. It takes us years.
75.
So it's only 75, right? So what happens when something is put into law is the agency that's responsible for implementing and managing that law, they have to put it through rulemaking. So the notice and comment rulemaking cycle. So something that's going to be put in place that, we don't have an option around once it's in place, it goes out for comments. The Department of Education has to go through this process. They have to get feedback. And they can, to some degree, they have the authority to shape some of the specifics. So this starts to get down a real nerdy rabbit hole, but it's possible that through the alternate definition for professional, which was thrown out there in this memo that the DOE put out, And when you kind of look at the qualifications for professional, it's possible that this can be influenced through the notice and comment rulemaking process. That being said, there is a tremendous amount of backlash by the nursing profession,
Right.
practitioners, and a bunch of others. There's
Who else was on the list? I mean, I've seen the list screenshotted 4,000 times. Nurses, PTs, OTs. Who else was on the list? NPs?
Yep, NPs and PAs are not professional. So there's a certain code that designates the professional designation that is aligned with physician, dentist, etc. So you have to hit that threshold, which also requires 80-hour credit hours or more. And it may even require a doctoral degree. So like we have things like theology degrees are considered professionals. Right?
So people very much were pointing out chiropractors and veterinarians.
Right. And that's the chiropractor thing is a little unusual, but it's the veterinarians, they're doctors also, but it's not just healthcare professionals. This is lawyers are JDs, right? They're considered professionals, but the audiologists, the PTs, OTs, NPs, PAs, that's graduate degree. That's how they're making the distinction. Are you a professional or do you have a graduate degree?
Understood.
And this, I think we have, ironically, out of all of the possible, we probably have the best argument to make for we should be in professional status given like the step down. So anyway, so it's rulemaking. The DOE didn't do this on their own. They wouldn't be going through this process. It has to be done because it was put in place in the One Big Beautiful Bill. Yeah.
All right. Give everybody a way for. I'm imagining you're going to write about this because you write on Substack and you've got channels. How do people find you and if they want to nerd out with you?
I write a PT newsletter called Future Proof PT. I do a little PT podcast, but there's links in my bio on LinkedIn and you can reach out to me there.
Dana Prommel Strauss, you have been now knighted our chief policy correspondent. I just knighted you that. You're also our only policy correspondent. Thanks for dropping by.
Thanks. Bye.
All right. Tony is frozen or he is so confused. I did not see using the word nomenclature on my PT Breakfast Club bingo card today. So while Tony figures out his Wi-Fi, or maybe it's my Wi-Fi issue. There he is again. That's a lot of information. Like Dana's an expert and she can break it down, but even some of that is like in the weeds. Like, and I love that she knows these things, but the same it's like, here's what I want to get to the other side. Dana's going to Dana. The policy people are going to policy. How does this change your clinic today, tomorrow, or 6 months from now? Does it?
Does not. It does not. Like, and this is where, regardless of what the classification is. Okay, so Joey Albritton put out the other day, what should the APTA be doing?
Yeah.
They should be dealing with this stuff, and they are, and they're out there, and this is their thing. I don't care about it. I don't think it's going to be impactful toward the future of the profession, and I don't think it's impactful toward the current profession.
Right.
So let's talk about, okay, you mentioned hockey, skate to where the puck is going. Wayne Gretzky, one of my favorite quotes. Like everybody who talks about the business of physical therapy and all of these different things, they're talking about today, right now. They're not making plans for like, what is the future going to look like? Now, I listened to Peter Diamandis. I can't think of what the podcast is, but he has incredibly bright minds on there. He did the X Prize. He has funding for all this innovation. Am I still frozen?
No, you're good. I can see.
Okay. The stuff that these guys are talking about is mind-blowing. So there are companies right now that are ready to start launching like large-scale 20,000 drones a month doing drone delivery. There are companies right now that are ramping up like user-level robots that you can bring into your house for under $20,000.
Wow.
That can do the vacuuming, the dishwashing, like bring me a beer, Jeeves, that kind of stuff.
Come on over.
Yeah. So I'm like, whenever I hear people talking about the PT and like, oh, we're going to lose staff, and we already have lost staff. I haven't hired a new PT in a decade. That is nothing new. What is it going to look like in 3 to 5 years, in 10 years? Like you're pretending AI doesn't exist. You're pretending we don't have all of the world's knowledge in our pocket with an earbud in our ear. You know, we're putting chips in our brains. Like, guys, come on, we can do so much more with the technology that's here right now and the technology that's coming. So from your perspective, like, what do you see 5 years from now, 10 years from now, in regards to the technology, you know, that's here and the technology, you know, that is coming?
I mean, I used to be, so Cory Doctorow, do you know Cory Doctorow? He's written for Wired and Boing Boing. And he also writes fiction. So hold on, there's a reason I'm saying this. I've read some, and he writes like YA novels, but they're like near future, like 5-10 years. And I was reading about some of this stuff that's happening now 10 years ago, and go like even the GLP-1s, he was calling that stuff. If you read some of his books, and I remember 3D printing, he was like, okay, 3D printing, got it. But what's this gonna ripple? What's this gonna ripple? He's the guy I sort of look to because he can sort of almost peer over the horizon. It's a little creepy. It was easier to read something like Cory Doctorow and Wired or his blog on Boing Boing or whatever and be able to see it, because I think you only had to look one iteration away. The stuff now, it's like it's a hockey stick. It's not even fast, is not even a good word anymore. If you told me right now that you could download a SIM card into your brain and you'd have ChatGPT in your brain, 70% of the people would just be like, that makes sense. Yeah, okay. Not like zero shock. Like your shock ability is at an all-time low. It's like, yeah, not shocked. Okay, got it. Yeah, moving on. Okay, where do I get? Do I put it in my hand or my ear? Where do I put the SIM card? Got it. I don't know. I have no, but if you don't think it looks something, and I'm not saying it's Sword or Hinge, but if you don't think it's alternate delivery devices, Tony just mentioned alternate delivery devices, and those things are drones. And that would have been ridiculous for me to say that I'm going to get an Amazon package of a turkey head delivered by drone. It would be insane to say that 5 years ago. I didn't even raise an eyebrow when you said they're going to deploy 20,000 drones. Zero shock. Okay, got it. Oh, only 20,000 drones. I was expecting, if you said 100,000 drones, I would be like, okay, that makes sense. It's insane. It's just the absolute speed. So here's the thing, everybody wants it to harken back to the day. When's it going to get back to? Never. When's it going to go? When are we just going to go back to? Never. When are we going back to? Never. If you're uncomfortable with that, you will lose. I'm looking right in if you are uncomfortable, if you do not embrace change, and it sounds like such a lame thing and it's a cliche, the only constant is change. Baby, the only constant is change every damn day now. Like, and I think I'm pretty forward thinking, but even I'm like, every once in a while, I'm like, okay, so how does this change things now? And how do I do everything that I just am doing right now? Does it make sense based on what just changed? And you have to keep doing that mathematics. I think this goes back to ask yourself what business that you're in. What business am I really, really in? If it is I document in an EHR and I bill insurance business, I don't know if you're going to be in a business very long. If you're in the business of making human connections, like by definition, a human connection cannot be done by AI and robots. It might get close. I have conversations with AI to help me iterate ideas and solve things. I don't know if you're talking or not, Tony. You're frozen. I'm just going to keep going and riff. A human connection has to be done by a human. Physical therapy has to be delivered by a physical therapist, right? Those are just words. What are you actually delivering? I was talking with Chad Madden yesterday, and he's like, if you make a real connection with people, he's got a clinic in like central Pennsylvania. He's like, we got people flying in from Idaho. And he's like, I'm just Chad. I'm just a regular PT. But if someone knows, likes, and trusts you, that you can't do with a drone or artificial intelligence. I need you to start wrapping your head around that's what you actually deliver. So, Tony, if you weren't listening, I was saying, I need you to focus on what business you're actually in.
Yeah, I heard it all.
Yeah, and not I'm a physical therapist and I want it to be I stand still at a plinth and patients come over and I get referrals from physicians, and that's the way it always was, and that's the way I want it to be the rest of my career until I retire. I'm very sorry it's not going to be, because it already isn't. It's not.
Yeah. There are people developing like nanotechnology.
Oh yeah.
That we can, put robots in the human body to deliver like medication to specific cells.
Have you
Go
heard
ahead.
of Neuralink and
Yeah,
Stentrode?
yeah, of course.
Stentrode?
Yeah.
Stentrode is that came out of Mount Sinai. It started before when I was working at Mount Sinai. I got to hang out with some of those people. So the difference between Neuralink, which gets a lot of press because it's funded by Elon Musk, gets a lot of press. From what I was understanding back then, they had to drill a hole in your skull and put the chip on your brain. I don't know about you. I like my skull with the normal amount of holes that I was born with. I'd like to die with the same amount of holes. Stentrode is like, we can go minimally invasive. We'll go up like a stent. What we already do, minimally invasive. And we can go deeper because we don't have to drill a hole in your brain. So anyway, so Stentrode was ahead. But yes, putting chips in your brain, eyebrow raising 5-10 years ago. Now, oh yeah, chip in your brain? That's normal.
So we see the massive rise in productivity. And as therapists, we think, well, productivity means I need to see more patients. That means I only have so many minutes in the day. That means I'm going to put 100 patients in my clinic for each therapist. No, that's not what it means. It means we get more efficient. We deliver a better outcome, a better quality outcome with less effort to thousands of people, millions of people. And there are ways that we don't even understand how that's going to happen. So yes, are there going to be fewer licensed therapists coming into the profession? Yes. Like there's no doubt about it. It's been like that. It's been on the decline for a decade. But we are going to have the ability to help more people at scale than we ever have had before. We can deliver a better outcome. We can deliver a better experience. We can serve people. Hatal is a physical therapist that came to visit me yesterday. You know, she swung into my clinic on her way to Michigan. It was awesome. Like I've never met her in person, but I've got connections with you and other people that we've been fostering just through this that are just as good as, you know, if you were born in the Cincinnati area and we grew up together and we knew each other in person. That extends out to the patient care, to all the other things that we're doing. But again, I feel like people are stuck with this idea that I want to make more money. That means Medicare needs to pay me more. They're not ever going to pay you more. Or I need to see more patients in person at the same time. And that's not good care. It's not good care the way it used to be delivered. Right. It can be and will be good care moving forward.
Got to do a quick commercial break, Tony. I don't know if you know we got sponsors, so I got to read this live read. Is that moist heat I smell? Introducing Hot Pack Cologne, the only fragrance that combines the steamy nostalgia of a hydroculator tank with the subtle notes of mildew, canvas, and student stress. Designed for PTs who want to be noticed, but only by other PTs. Comes in 3 scents: E-Stim Sizzle, Ultrasound Gel Calm, and 30-year-old Hot Pack Smell. Whether you're going to a Con Ed course or just trying to make your evals last longer, Hot Pack Cologne is the scent of productivity. Hot Pack Cologne, because nothing says romance like superficial heat. Just want to make sure we get that live read. I was like, hey, ChatGPT, write me some funny, parody, stupid commercials that I can read during this live stream, but make it only funny to physical therapists. So that's our first official sponsor, Tony. We just got paid for that.
Cha-ching. I love that. That is awesome.
Can I tell you of my next crazy idea? So I'm still going forward with get the message out, right? Got fired, lost my job. And then I was like, you know what? I'm just going to open my own company because I'm one guy and I know how to do stuff, but now I'm going to make people and companies pay me to do that. So I'm going at what I want to do. I'm a small marketing agency with a big mouth. That's my tagline, but I'm hyper focused on healthcare. I'm going to stay in PT first. Maybe I'll branch out, but I want to own PT first. I'm looking for PT associations because I know their problems. I've been in and around associations for a decade. And then I want to go to businesses. Big, small, doesn't matter. I'm going to do different things because they have different problems. But it's going to involve around video, audio, social clips, because that's what I do. It's my background. It's my new thing. Here's the model. You and Dave are right. Going to associations is going to be such a long play. They're not going to swipe the credit card today. And if they do, we know what their budgets are. Except they have built-in audiences right now. They've got gravity. So that I'm attracted to them. and I'm a bleeding heart. I want them to survive. They're good people. They're made up of good people. I don't like the APTA. Point to an APTA member you don't like. Well, I like everybody in it, but I don't like that you don't dislike the APTA. You dislike that they're not doing what you want them to do or whatever. But I like the small parts of APTA, the state chapters, the academies. Here's my offer. Tell me if you can say no to this offer, honestly. Tony, you run APTA Ohio because you're in Ohio. You're the executive director. You're the president. Tony, we both agree you need video, audio, social content, webinars. You don't deliver that enough. Can we agree on that? You'd like to do more.
Yes, Jimmy, yes.
Let's agree you don't have the bandwidth, the tools, the training, the time to do that at scale.
Correct.
Let's also agree that you can't afford to hire me full-time. I'd be too expensive.
Correct.
But I'm valuable. What I have is value. It will provide value.
Yes.
What if I said we work together? I don't start working until I secure sponsorship that pays for me and puts money in your bank.
Risk reversal offer, 100%.
So here's the model. I'm just going to give it away. I'm calling APTA chapters now, and that's my pitch on the email. These are people I already know, so I'm not cold selling them. Listen, we've talked about this before. I want to make videos for you. I want to make you known. You know I can do it because I've been doing it for a decade. But we also know it's going to cost something. And you're like, but budget. And I don't think you're lying because these are all nonprofits. I can look up their 990s, right? But I also know, I was talking to an organization yesterday, decent sized in APTA. And I was like, help me understand what you do. Like, because there's lots of things I don't see. Well, we have a conference. They got down the list. Like, we have a 2-day conference every year. Oh, in person? Yes. Does it make you money, break even, lose money? We make money. We're not millionaires, but we make it. It pays for itself and then some. Show me, bring it up on screen. What's the media kit look like if I'm ATI or Spear or Jag or Hyperice and I want to sponsor this? They brought it up. The prices were good. Like they were charging. They were putting it out there. And I go, how many, what do you got? 10 sponsors? 50. Hold on a minute. You got 50 people paying on this scale, and they don't argue because they show up. Do they show up year after year? Yes. Are they happy when they leave? Yes. If you right now to give you money for that next year in 2026, yes. Are you giving them away to give you money the other 363 days a year? Dead silence on the phone. Well, they can sponsor our newsletter. Is your newsletter any good? No. They can sponsor that. They have a media kit. Sponsor us now. Do you even call these organizations the other 363 days a year to ask them? No. I'll do that. I will eat what I kill. I will make the money to pay for me what I think I'm worth and leave you margin. Do you think anybody will say no to that?
Should they say no to that? No, they
No.
should not say
Some
no.
will,
Double
though,
negative.
Yeah.
But people always find a way to say no.
I know.
The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. Now, I get it. It's the same in the physical therapy clinic. It's the same in the fitness world. I'm going to lose weight. It's January 1st. I'm going to start a new diet. I'm going to start a new exercise program. You have failed 20 years in a row.
No.
You are gun shy to do it again. And this is the reality. Like, I get a constant stream of people saying, don't pay me. Let me do your YouTube channel. If we make money, we'll do a revenue split. No, I say no every time.
Why?
Huh?
Why do you say no?
Same thing. It's, I don't expect you to succeed. That's the reality. I don't expect you to succeed. And I'm going to lose not the money, but the time and the effort and the frustration of having to go through this whole thing again just to see you fail, just to waste my time, just to be in the same or worse place in the future than I am today right now. That is why people say no to marketers. That is why people say no to SEO. That is why people say no to so many of these kinds of things. Because even though it's not a monetary cost, it's a time commitment. They're still going to have to talk to you, answer your questions,
People like talking to me.
Confront the reality, right?
Right.
I have to get on the scale. I have to see that I gained 20 pounds when I think I only gained 10. Like, these are insecurities that people don't want to face. That's the challenge for you. That's the challenge for our clients.
Do you think I could have any success with this? Tony's literally answering phones, right? I love this. I love the fact I'm a clinic owner, man. That's what I do. Do you think if I found 5 to do it, I could support myself and them?
Yeah, 100%. So again, just like in my clinic, can I get 5 people to come in to say yes to a $1,200 package for weight loss and orthopedic care and feel better and stronger joints? Yeah.
And some of them are going
to. I might need to get 100 through the door.
Oh yes,
to get 5 who are in so much pain that they're absolutely, the pain of making the commitment is less than the pain of just persisting.
And that's where we are. 5 years ago, 2 things were not true that are true today. 1, I had to explain why creating content was important and valuable. I don't have to do that anymore. It's 2025, 2026. I don't have to do that. 2, their revenue is flat or declining, and these organizations are starting to panic. And I have been saying this for 2 years. I don't know if they're going to be around in 5 years. Some people have told me 5 years is not it's not 5, it's less. Unless we do something. So now it's like the perfect imperfect storm. You have the pain of the feet to the fire, and the solution that I'm proposing is not as wild and extreme. I can point to other organizations doing it and go, I'm not reinventing the wheel. Let's do that like them. Like I always like to do that too. And I forget, I think it was Rory Sutherland who's like, give me the Uber of, if I said to you, I'm going to create the Uber of pharmacies, you're like, got it. It's like, it delivers to me. Got it. The Cadillac of, that says prestige. The Uber is like the utility of it. Cadillac is like, we're going to be the Cadillac of lawn care services. Oh, got it. You're going to do bougie. And it automatically tells you what you expect it to feel, taste, and smell like. So that's my pitch. Because before I was just like, I'm going to knock on the door and be like, this, you need this, it's worth this. I'll discount my prices and charge you this. I charge them this or this. They're like, we don't have it. Right. I think you are sitting on a field of gold. Weren't we talking about the field of diamonds? Was that you? Oh, the field of diamonds? So. I do a lot of interviews. So the field of diamonds thing was, this guy was like, this guy in Africa was all about like, he owned a farm, and he's like, I'm probably going to hack up this analogy and someone's going to fix it, but he owned 10 acres and he's like, I'm going to sell the 10 acres and then I'm going to explore Africa looking for diamonds. When he sold the farm, you know where this is going. Turns out there were diamonds on his own land and he sold it for pennies on the dollar. So I think associations are sitting on something valuable. I think they're trying to do the same thing over and over again and did get a different result. They tell me that their main revenue driver, I'm telling you, you're not in the membership business. If you were, dues need to be way higher, but the dues need to be doubled, but the value needs to be 10x'd. They're not doing either of those things. They're not increasing dues, but they're not increasing value. I want to increase value, bring other people in who value it. The sponsors value membership and the connections more than the association. They understand it better, right? But associations are going to associate, businesses are going to business. That's what I'm banking on. I'm banking on the associations let me in, and I get to be the intermediary going, what you have is a gold mine. Just be you, association. Business, you want access to these people? Yes. What's a fair price? This. Is that cool with you? Yeah, great. I get paid for working because I'm going to work and bring on other people to work. And then we all win and everyone just walks around laughing to the bank and laughing every year at our, gala or whatever we do, because now we have money to actually fund the things the associations need. Anyway, that's my pitch. Go ahead.
Here are two objections that I see right now. One is, I think your personal connection in some ways works against you.
Oh, crap. Why?
Because now the problem is, hey, I've known Jimmy all this time. Jimmy's amazing. I know all these things. I really don't think Jimmy can deliver on what he thinks he can deliver. Mm-hmm. And then I'm going to have to fire Jimmy. I don't want to fire Jimmy because now I've got this social connection to him. So this is where I wonder if you put in kind of this tripwire exploding, 90-day deal. I'm going to fire myself. You don't have to fire me. Like, look, this is not about emotion. This is the plan. If the plan doesn't get us to where we want to go,
no harm, no foul.
Yeah.
I'm fine with that. Yeah. I'll put my money where my mouth is. I'll put my mouth where my mouth is.
There was another one in what you had just said that made me think about the person trying to lose weight, start a new diet. But I can't remember what it is.
While you're thinking, I want to make sure expectations are crystal clear. Like, I love the fact that I'm talking about this on a live stream. I'm going to give this idea away to everybody. I don't think anybody else is going to do it, because if they were, they would have done it. Why does my podcast outdo others that have companies that have budgets and staffs? You know why? I show up twice a week. Every week for a decade. And suddenly he really has something there. Yes. Because I showed up. I did 2 push-ups a week, every week for a decade. That's why I have triceps. That's it. But everybody looks at everybody cheers for the result. When you're doing I had classmates who were like, I had a professor be like, you are wasting your time. You should hard stop. Do not do this. Hard stop. And I'm like, but here's the thing. I don't fault them. They couldn't see it. No one cheers for you then. They'll look back and be like, I knew the whole time. My favorite quote was from a classmate. Again, I launched it. I was in class with these people for a year and a half doing this thing online. Again, wasn't the best thing since sliced bread. It was all right though. And one of them, super reserved, walked by. Is like, hey, I must have interviewed somebody that was of interest to her. She goes, I listened to your podcast yesterday. And I go, oh, okay. She goes, it was actually good. And I was like, that burns a little bit. Yeah, it was that burns a little bit, but thank you. But here's the best part though. They were going to be my staunchest critics because they know me. Strangers are just like, who is this guy? No expectation. And if I deliver a little bit, it's a win. These people know me. I had to be really, which I wasn't, but I was able to flip that person to podcast. It was actually good. I was like, thank you. Thank you so much. Anyway, that's the model I'm working with now. I'm also communicating with companies. What I wanted to talk about, if we have 14 minutes, CSM. Even if I'm not with a brand, I have to go, right? I have to go.
Where is it going to be?
LA, Disney World.
Okay.
I've got friends going so I can crash in hotel rooms because I need to I have a free hotel room. I've got a hotel room covered because I volunteer for the Foundation for PT Research. So I think they give me a day or two a hotel room to cover my volunteering of hours or whatever. I want to do this for the Foundation for PT Research too. Because all they're going to do is make more phone. And I love them. I'm saying everything that I'm about to say in case it gets back to them and they're like, oh, he's crap talk. I'm not. I love everything you do. I want you to succeed, but you keep making phone calls and sending letters about how great research is. It is. But all the people who agree with you already gave. I want to talk to the other people who don't know you exist. That pool of people is larger. Give them a better value prop and they will throw money at you. So I want to do it for the foundation too. Same model. This is also why I think I can scale this is I'm going to do the same 4 things over and over and over again. I'm going to have a process so I can turn an episode or a video or webinar around when can you do that? Tomorrow. I would love to get to that problem where it's next week, but as I grow, I'll just hire more freelancers. Right now I got one dude. I got a Drew. As I grow, I want Drew to have 3 people under him. We'll get there at that. And growing isn't the goal. The goal is impact.
What does Drew want to do?
Drew wants to shoot things. Drew's a shooter. Drew's an A+ shooter and a storyboarder. He's a B+, A- editor, not because of lack of skill, because he'd rather have a camera in his hand, and I get that. So he'll shoot a wedding and he'll put things on video, and then I have told him hire someone to edit that. Find one great editor that all they want to do is edit. They never want to leave their couch. Find your counterpart so you can shoot 2 weddings while they're editing your first. So Drew wants to shoot. Drew's not a PT, but he's been around it long enough that he's like, I get it. You guys do cool stuff. And Drew was young when I started working with him because it was 6 years ago. And I remember being because we worked together at Fox. And I remember thinking, I'm going to have to not micromanage, but I'm going to have to tell him exactly what to do because he's young. I was wrong. Our first project together, I was like, okay, so I need you to do this, and then stand over here and do this. And he paused and he was like, I see what you're trying to do. Visually, if we did this, I think it would actually achieve what you want to achieve. And I was like, oh, I don't have to babysit you at all. Hey, congratulations. You're just tell me where to stand. I know how to do the microphone thing. Tell me where. And then I was like, this is great. This is great. You know what we have the same vision, but I'm not going to tell you what to do. Okay, great. Brain off. I now can focus on me things, and Drew focuses on Drew things. He's a freelancer. I think he would do a full-time job. I think a company would be smart to hire him, but they're not going to be smart enough to hire him. But they'll freelance him, and he'll go, well, the rate is now tripled because I'm not your employee. I want Drew to walk around. Oh, well, the other idea too is I'm bringing this back at CSM. I'd like to find, and I'm going to follow through. We'll see which ones of these. I know, Tony, don't worry. I can tell that look on your face. I want to do that idea I had last year, which is Drew and I fly in a day early to CSM, rent an Airbnb, have 6 people pay us whatever we think this is worth to give them a long 6 months, essentially 6 months of content in one day. The whole day, though. The 6 people are essentially going to be like walking around LA or our Airbnb like influencers, but I'm going to do the same thing 6 times, then this thing 6 times. And then Drew's doing your headshot 6 times. And then Drew's shooting your B-roll 6 times. And then when we're done, you're happy. And you're like a baby. I don't know, fat and happy, right? That's what we are. We're fed and happy. You get a Google Drive a week later filled with 6 months worth of content. That's all about you. I just helped you do it. Drew helped you do it and edit it. So that's what we're looking to do. I don't know, the CSM content machine. There's like there's CSM and there's content machine, the content social machine. Like there's something there. It has to have a name. You know my rule. It's got to have a stupid name or a goofy name, like the content social machine or something like that. What do you think that's worth? Drew and I, running you through a machine and you get 6 months worth of content in a day where you're the star. What should I charge for that? Just ask ChatGPT.
Yeah, I mean, you got to think it's 5 figures, 10,000 plus. Truthfully, I mean, even just you're saying 6 months. It's really more than 6 months of content.
I mean, it's reusable and bendable.
Yeah.
Here's a crazy negotiation tactic. Imagine you're on the other side of you get brands all the time. Actually, remember that head thing I was talking about the other day?
Yeah.
I'm just connecting with you. I'm like, Tony's going to do it better. And if you think Tony's going to do it for free, I'm like, don't email him. But it's going to give you impact. So my new negotiation tactic, if someone says that's too expensive, copy and paste our entire email thread into ChatGPT and write, what is a fair price for what the person is delivering? You just have to explain, copy and paste my LinkedIn profile in there as well. It has to understand the context. So copy and paste my LinkedIn profile, my resume, and what you're asking to do, copy and paste it in ChatGPT and just say, what is a fair price for what this person is offering to deliver? And I'll work for whatever it says.
Real quick, Will Boyd, he's saying 12,000 for 6 months of reels, daily reels. And even that, I
just
mean,
reels.
Even
just
that,
reels.
think of how cheap that has gotten at a $12,000 price. Because if we would go back 10 years, cameras existed, the internet existed, all of these things existed. 6 months of daily reels would have been like 6 figures, 7 figures. It was crazy how much all of this stuff cost. Again, the example
at this, but I don't need 100 people to say yes. I mean, right. I can hear you and Will in my ear. I don't need 100 people. I need 6. But I've talked to someone. The problem is selling to my friends. I just want to do it for free for people. I'm just like, I'll just do it. Drew and I will just go out there for free. Just pay our flights. I can't do that. But I've talked to people who are like, I listened to you. I started a podcast. I didn't charge them because they're friends. And I'm like, and what do you get now? I got paid $3,000 to speak for 30 minutes. I go, holy shit. What would happen if we did that a lot? Do you like speaking? Yes. Do you want to do more of it? Yes. How do you get those things? Not luck. See, this is right. I was going to charge $4,000. I think you're right. I think he's just saying 12 grand just for the reels. Here's the funny part. It's led to 0 sales. Organic IG. So go ahead.
So now here's the question for Will, and just put it in the comments. I think as clinicians, because I know I am, terrified that we would request money for somebody would pay us money, and then they wouldn't get a result from that. We are so scared of that. What was your emotion? What did you feel like when you paid the money? Ultimately, it led to 0 sales. I'm sure there was other benefits from it, but my biggest nightmare is that even in my clinic, somebody comes in here, spends an hour with me, leaves and says, that was a waste of time. Even if they didn't pay me anything. I
Yes.
can't
Oh, yeah.
stand that, outcome happening.
He says cost of doing business.
That
But
takes a mature person. That takes a mature somebody who's been through it, somebody who understands what it is that they are doing.
That's not that is the opposite of an emotional attachment. That is a non-emotional attachment to a business decision. I mean, I used to tell people all the time in radio, I was like, if you can run this ad campaign and nothing happens and your business is still fine, do it. If you need this to hit 70% of whatever you think it's going to hit, don't do it. I would talk more people out of it because I'm like, I'm never going to wash that off. Because here's why. And I was saying this back before the socials, kids. We're at the intersection of humans. I'm talking to a microphone, trying to give emotion, to suggest or to communicate something to achieve understanding. I'm never really selling. I mean, I know we can get to the art of intricacies. Here's the bottom line. I make suggestions, but people make decisions. People are people-y. But I think the odds are ever in your favor when they know, like, and trust you. You've got a better shot. It's better than a coin toss, right? But this person that I was talking to was like, yes, because people have said, I've seen your podcast. Can you come now speak at my thing? Here's a speaking fee. And she was like, how'd that happen? I go, it wouldn't have happened. You could be just as brilliant, but if no one knows, they're not going to reach out. Like, they're not going to call. Will
That's
going,
right.
Will Boyd saying you got to risk it for the biscuit. You do. You miss 100 going another double Gretzky. You win 100. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Wayne Gretzky, Michael Scott, because Michael Scott said, Michael Scott said the quote. So he's, you're right.
Let's segue into the closing of the show on the biscuit topic. What is your plan for Thanksgiving?
My plan for Thanksgiving is being with family, but going to a restaurant. Ooh. Because I don't like cooking. We don't cook well. Do you know what I'm very good at though? Hanging out and eating. Super good at that. I'm top notch. So we're doing that, but we are getting family together, and everybody's sort of at the age where we're like, listen, we've done it. We just want a turnkey. So we're just going to a restaurant. How about you? Are you doing put the bird in the oven at 6 a.m.?
I am. So our deal, my wife, huge family, 14 siblings. A lot of us get together, Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's.
That's an experience, man.
Our tradition. So we get about 30-ish people that go run the turkey trot. So we will wake up, we'll put the turkey in the oven. We'll go run the turkey trot. We'll come back. We'll make a couple sides. We'll go to my brother-in-law's. The kids will play out back all day, from wiffle ball to football to whatever. We'll hang out. The thing that...
Oh, you froze, dude. Right in the middle. I feel like we're getting to the emotional crescendo. Say it again.
I remember holding babies when I first came into the family that are now married with their babies, and I'm holding their kids, like, it is just insane. And it feels like it was yesterday.
Yeah.
So that's it. That's what we're doing.
Yeah. I posted a picture this morning of like me on my grandmother's lap. And I was like 3, and it's just weird. It's like, hey, people grow up. Hug a friend, hug a family member, take a photo. Keep it on your phone, back it up, put it on Google Drive or something, and then take the same photo, same spot. I love those pictures when they do the same people in the same outfits. Yeah. I'm a sucker for those things. Yeah. Why am I a sucker for those? Because it's transformation. That's what you're actually showing, not telling, right? All right, go hug people, be grateful. We're grateful for you listening. Otherwise, it's just Tony and I talking to each other. That wouldn't be that bad though. But it's nice when we get people like Dana and Will and David Rowan and Rowan chiming in. So appreciate David. You owe me a phone call because I'm pitching my idea that I just pitched to Tony to you. That's the whole idea. Come tell me why I'm wrong. We're off Thursday. You should be off too. We'll see you next week. Tony, go have fun at your clinic, man. Thanks for
all right. See you guys.